Thanks for tuning in. The Essex County Field Naturalist Club is pleased to share this short clip on a fascinating prehistoric turtle that lives in Essex County. Chances are you've heard of these creatures and may have noticed them swimming and lurking in slow-moving freshwater areas like wetlands, ponds, ditches, and the bottoms of lakes and rivers with muddy bottoms and lots of vegetation around. The snapping turtle is the largest freshwater turtle in Canada, and the maximum known length of its carapace, or upper shell, is 49.4 centimeters, and they can weigh up to 15 to 20 kilograms, and that's pretty big. One of the best ways to identify a snapping turtle at any stage in their life is by looking at its long tail with triangular spikes along the top. They're hard to miss. Often, the shell and tail are covered in green algae. That algae only grows on the shells of turtles and freshwater mussels.
Snapping turtles generally inhabit any slow or non-moving body of water in Ontario, and even though you think they're not likely living in fast-flowing rivers, they definitely are. Snapping turtles are one of the oldest living animal species in Canada, at more than 70 million years. In fact, there are fossil records of snapping turtles on Ellesmere Island that date back 54 million years ago. These animals have evolved over all of those years to just live simply, keeping to themselves and eating mostly dead things in the water. They've helped keep our waterways clean and healthy for all of that time. When snapping turtles are out on land, there's a reason. It's because they're headed somewhere. These animals are not at home on land at all, and as such, they are quick to defend themselves against potential threats, such as you. Well, maybe quick is too strong of a word for a turtle. But the head and jaws are very large on mature turtles, and they are capable of delivering a fairly quick strike and very defensive bite if necessary. They also have a surprisingly long reach, as their deceivingly long neck is usually tucked inside their shell. Normally, that long neck is used for poking their nose into cavities, where dead things might be stored away, waiting to be eaten. The social structure of a population of snapping turtles is pretty neat. The largest male in the area will have a typical territory of about 90 meters of shoreline, and then whatever usable habitat is aligned with it. In his domain, the dominant male has many ladies with no competition, only subservient males. When another male challenges this territory, there's a battle. These can be quick and painless or absolutely epic. When the losing male finally concedes, he leaves the area and goes off and tries to make a new territory for himself. These battles can happen at any point during spring, summer, or fall. Some observers often mistake these battles for a mating pair of turtles, until the wrestling gets a little too rough to be just that.
Snapping turtles have a very small plastron, or lower shell, and cannot withdraw inside when they feel threatened. So, on land, this turtle's only defense from predators is to snap over and over in hopes of scaring them away. When they are in water, they rarely snap at potential threats and will simply swim away if threatened. Snapping turtles sometimes bask out of water, but are often seen walking on the bottom of a water body. They are omnivorous and eat aquatic plants, invertebrates, fish, frogs, snakes, small turtles, aquatic birds, and fresh carrion in their habitat. In Ontario, female snapping turtles do not reach reproductive maturity until they are 17 to 19 years old. When they are ready, they dig a nest somewhere in an open area with loose, sandy soil. Once the eggs are laid, the nest is covered and off she goes and doesn't return. Unfortunately, many nests will be dug up by predators like raccoons, foxes, opossums, or skunks looking for a meal. One clutch sometimes has between 40 to 50 eggs that will hatch in the fall. Interestingly, the gender of snapping turtles is determined by the incubation temperature of the eggs. When ready, hatchlings are 2 to 3 centimeters in length and are ready to go and dive into their new habitat. While snapping turtles are habitat generalists, habitat loss and degradation do not impact their populations as severely as other species at risk in Ontario. However, due to late reproductive age maturity, the loss of a few adult turtles in a population each year is enough to severely impact the individuals in that population, which increases their vulnerability not only from animal predation, but also human impacts such as road mortality, hunting, poaching, and persecution.
Since snapping turtles have such a long lifespan, the species may bioaccumulate toxins or pollutants from their environment. From a research and monitoring perspective, this provides insight into environmental health of what is happening in water bodies. Bioaccumulation in turtles can impact their development, their reproduction and offspring development, and also makes them unsafe for human consumption. Locally, Detroit River researchers monitor turtle nests to ensure turtles are hatching normally and to ensure mercury and polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs, are not accumulating in eggs. In 2014 and in 2015, there was no significant difference in hatching successes or deformities between samples from the Detroit River area and samples collected at Long Point. Furthermore, PCB levels in eggs have been decreasing over time in the Detroit River watershed.
Currently, snapping turtles are listed as special concern under the Ontario Endangered Species Act of 2007 and as special concern under the Federal Species at Risk Act. In addition, it is designated as a specially protected reptile under the Ontario Fish and Wildlife Conservation Act. If you are curious where snapping turtle sightings have been listed in Ontario, check out Ontario Nature's Ontario Reptile and Amphibian Atlas. You can even contribute your sightings as well.
Big threats to turtles is roads. Turtles have to travel when they go migrate and when females go to lay their eggs. And they often come across roads like this one or the one across the street that you can hear with real cars on it. So this is just a demonstration, and I'm going to show you what you can do when you want to help a turtle cross the road. This is something you can do. It'll really make a big difference to help them. But first, protect yourself, safety first, make sure that it's safe to help them out, look for cars, and if it's safe to do so, then you can go ahead and help the turtle. So here's my little tire turtle, but we'll pretend he's real. And the first thing you want to do is just check out the situation and see which way the turtle's going. So my little turtle tire is going to cross the road. I'm going to trust that the turtle knows where it wants to go. So always move the turtle in the direction that he's traveling. This might even be a female turtle that's crossing the road to go find a place to lay her eggs. So by helping her, you're not only helping the one adult turtle, but all the eggs that are inside her in the future generations. So definitely a good thing to do. Alright, so this is my turtle tire, and in orange you can see the danger zone. Snapping turtles have really long necks. They can go all the way to their back legs, and their necks can bend backwards too. So you never want to get too close to the turtle like this. So as long as you stay out of the danger zone, you should be okay. Little turtles, they're pretty easy to move. You can just grab them on this handy little shelf on the back of their shell. Your fingers slip underneath and you can lift them up like this. Bigger turtles, they can weigh up to 45 pounds. So you're going to need a little extra strength. So this is my favorite way to help them. Grab the turtle by the base of the tail, that's a good handle, and tip him up, slip your hand underneath, and grab onto this little T-shaped part of the lower shell called the plastron. You can rest him on your hip like this. It's like a waitress. Carry him across the road like so. Remember not to tip up or around because that danger zone. Once you get to the other side, just gently put him back down. Now, one thing that's important to note is not to pick them up only by the tail. Their tail is connected to their spine, so that can really hurt them. So always make sure you give the turtle enough support. A couple of other ways to help a turtle cross the road. If you have a shovel left over in your car from winter, shoveling snow, keep it there. You can scooch them across. You can try and get them onto a car mat and pull the car mat across. Or I've even heard of dangling a stick in front of the turtle's mouth, let it snap on, and then walking across like this.
Continue learning by staying in touch with the Essex County Field Naturalist Club. We hope you enjoyed the Snapping Turtle Creature feature.